On this episode of the Best of Bias podcast, we got episode 235. You know what we're here to do. Got a lot of stuff to review too. Actually, not too long of an episode, but three main points we want to review today. We got All-Star Weekend. We got Drake and Party Next Door's new album. We got Captain America: Brave New World to review for you guys. Brand new episode. Welcome to the weekend or whatever day you listen to the podcast. It's a good day to listen to the new Best of Bias podcast because we back, baby. Let's get right into it. No long talking. Let's see. Episode 235 again. Lydell Dinero, we back in the building. Let's go. Where that theme song at? It's right here. Yeah.
It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to unite us. It's the best of bias. The best of bias. Yeah, it's the best of bias.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Lydell Dinero, and it's time for another episode of the Best of Bias podcast, the best podcast in the motherfucking world. I edited myself right there. I can do this, guys. I can go this whole pod without cussing. You think I can do it? I'm gonna try my hardest. But we here, and it's time. Post Valentine's Day episode. Hopefully, everybody out there had a good Friday, had a good Valentine's Day. If it was Saturday, Sunday, like I did my Valentine's Day on Saturday. So whatever day you enjoyed your Valentine's Day, I hope you were able to enjoy it in the best way possible. Had you some candy, go on a date, just feel loved in general. You know, that's always the goal of Valentine's Day. Not all about the dates or the big gifts and everything. It's just feeling loved and feeling appreciated. And that's what it's all about, man. No long talking. I talked about it last time, but hopefully yours was good. I was able to go out there to San Diego, hang out with V-Rons, busy V-Rons, got to go out there a lot because her visiting here isn't always as feasible as it is for me to go out there. And it's a blessing. So we be out there balling out, chilling, doing some activities and exploring what San Diego has to offer. So we were able to go out there and do some things. We went to this new movie theater out there, this lush movie theater called The Lot. If you're in San Diego, you should check it out. It's kind of like they have an AMC, kind of the lounge chairs with the recliners and stuff like that. Um, but this theater, they actually had like waiters and waitresses that came to your table. The food was amazing, had chicken sandwiches with the bacon and the habanero barbecue sauce and stuff like that. Um, yeah, it gets wild out there, you know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of stuff like restaurant. Excuse me. I hope I can talk today, guys. Maybe if I slow down, I can be a little more coherent for y'all. But it's restaurant style food brought to you in the movie theater. The waiters and stuff come out before the movie starts, get everybody served up with their drinks, their alcohol, their food. It's kind of expensive, but if you're looking for like an intimate experience at a movie theater that's not super full when you want to see a new movie that just came out, you know what I'm saying? It's a good place to go out there. And around it, there's like a lot of shops and kind of like not really a farmer's market, but like a local area with a bunch of like mom and pop shops with different things, clothes, records. You know how I'm into my vinyls now. If you guys have been on my Instagram lately, you guys have been seeing my collection grow. So there's a lot of things like that while you wait for your movie and stuff like that. Restaurants, there's always some good eatery out there in San Diego. You can always, expect to find something like that out there. So we were able to do that, able to see the movie. I'll get to my review when we get to the cinema corner section. But yeah, just being able to hang out, spend that quality time is just always good, man. Like I said, it's not always about the biggest things you can get for somebody or the biggest extravagant dates you guys can make for the day. As long as you guys are able to be together and spend some time and just, feel appreciated and show each other that you appreciate each other is all the jazz. So I appreciate that. Appreciate my time out there. Didn't get no vinyls. But we did go to the mall. I try to get us some matching shoes and be a little, cutesy cute, but you know what I'm saying? I don't think we have the same style and shoes. She got what she got though. I got her a little gift, had to hook her up, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just happy I got to get out there and spend the time because man, and I made it back safely with all these plane and aviation accidents going on. I'm happy I was able to make it back in pod for y'all and God willing. Woo-wee. Thank you, Lord, for letting me make it. But it was fun. So hopefully everybody else's was good as well. I'm checking on your mental health. I like the little, the small talk before we get started in the big topics at hand. Also, before we start, I want to let y'all know, man, gaming. Best of Bias Gaming is still out there. I know you've been lacking a little bit. I know we had like when we first put the thing together, we started off sprinting, even though this thing is a marathon, we're just trying to get those 50 followers so we can get to be an actual Twitch, like streamer and be able to put our content up on a page, you know what I'm saying? Just little by little get there. Kind of fell off with the group, you know what I'm saying? P Nate and Damo, all of us, Derek, and then we always on the stream talking shit. And I cussed already, damn it. Always streaming and putting stuff together for the Twitch, while we're live, but we can't really save the videos and upload them. Maybe I'll start doing more of those and putting them on Instagram so you guys can see and get a little more of the flavor of what you guys will be watching. So maybe you'll join a little bit more and watch us play some games. But we still out here, man. Patrick, or no, it's not Patrick. It's Lydell_Dinero 22 on Twitch or I think that's my PSN on PlayStation. No, yeah. It's Lydell_Dinero 22 on Twitch. Follow me on there, man. Playing a bunch of games. I'm usually playing Marvel Rivals nowadays, man. New character drops tomorrow or today if you're listening to it on Friday, recording on Thursday. We got The Thing and Johnny Storm being added, so I'm excited to play. I'm always on the Rivals. If you guys trying to play Rivals, Call of Duty, they just dropped the Ninja Turtles, man. So I'm down to get into both games. It's about to be season 5 for 2K, the Wimbenyama season. I'm about to start off fresh on there too. So I'm down for all the grinds, you feel me? So just hit me up, Lydell_Dinero 22 on the Twitch or even on PlayStation. It's Lydell_Dinero 22. I think it's the same thing there. So hit me up if you're trying to play. I got Xbox too, as you can see back there. I don't play it as much, but I still have Xbox. I think it's Xbox One, if I'm not mistaken. Whatever the series before the newest series was, I have that one. We can still run on the first gen and ain't got to worry about if you ain't got the second gen. You can still get these hands. I got another, I think I am Skitty Grub 1 on Xbox, but Lydell_Dinero on the PlayStation 5. So whatever way you want to get it, I want to plug this to the streaming because we still doing it, man. I stream a lot actually when I'm playing by myself too, when I don't even have a group with me. So check me out. We still streaming. We still trying to get it in because when we go back to TwitchCon, we're gonna have something to show for ourselves. I don't know if we're gonna go next year, but it might be in 2 years. So I know I'm gonna get that invite and be kind of tempted to go. But we'll see. We'll see. But anyways, All-Star Weekend, man. Let's start this pod off right. We'll start some sports, man. Not much sports because football just ended with the Super Bowl and all that. Basketball is just now getting back because All-Star break was last week. So basically, we're just going to talk a little bit about the All-Star Weekend, of course, because, it was really hype for me because it's in the Bay Area this year. It was out there in San Francisco and Oakland, kind of going back and forth between all the events, the celebrity game, the HBCU game, the Rising Star challenges and stuff like that, and the actual All-Star game. You know what I mean? So a lot of the festivities were out there. I am really happy that it went off. I wouldn't say without a hitch because I wasn't out there amongst the people because I know shit always goes down at those kind of events. But ultimately, you didn't hear about it on TV. You know what I'm saying? Nothing happened as far as players getting in trouble that I heard about or anything like that. It went off kind of smooth. It was just the program that they put on TV to us that it was kind of just not that great of a product. Me personally, I love the NBA, so I'm not a person that comes on here and regularly hates on it and hates on the TV product. I know the viewership is down due to quote unquote too many threes by big men, and the traditional way of people playing basketball is pushing away the old heads from watching it like they used to or some shit like that. I don't really care about that. But I do feel like we need to bring some kind of relevance back to these All-Star games, man, because back in the day when I was growing up, when players used to make the Pro Bowl, used to make All-Star, used to be an All-Star, used to mean something. But now the more and more we see each year that the players don't take the All-Star game or festivities serious, it just kind of seems like it doesn't really matter that much. And then I feel like when it doesn't matter that much to you guys as you guys aren't playing that hard, taking it serious, when it comes down to your Hall of Fame inductions and you want to count all the All-Stars that you got to help your case to get into the Hall of Fame, I don't know if we should weigh it as heavy anymore. Because you don't care. I mean, I'm not a voter, but why should the voters care if you guys don't care? You know what I'm saying? Especially, a lot of the time for the NBA, it's a fan vote that makes All-Star. So I guess in the NBA, it doesn't really get weighted that much when it goes for um Hall of Fame. I feel like almost everybody makes Hall of Fame if you're good enough. Well, obviously, if you're good enough, but pretty much even, it's a very low tier of people that can make it into the Hall of Fame for basketball. You don't even have to win a championship, you can make it in. You know what I mean? Uh, but as far as like, credibility, barbershop talk and shit like that, people will try to weigh in those all-stars. This guy was a 15-time all-star. Like, yeah, but after year like 5, did it really matter? I mean, you do have to be playing well enough to get voted to be an all-star, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. We don't really get to see who's better than each other in the all-star. I want to see the best of the best play each other to see who's the best kind of shit when it comes to all-stars. These guys don't, I don't know, egos, especially in the NBA, I feel like they've gotten too big to the point where they don't want to compete. They just want to look cool the whole time and just have the mystique of them being hella raw rather than them come out there and try to prove it against other guys. And then when the people come out there and be too braggadocious and really talk their shit and really stand on business and try to prove that they're the best, you call them tryhards. You know what I mean? It's just a messy game we play. And we saw that with this year's festivities. And again, it was in the Bay Area, the stomping grounds for your boy. So I was expecting it to be, at least put on a show that the national media, the national audiences will see and be like, damn, I wish I was there. Just like they would if it was in New York, if it was in LA, if it was in Vegas. We wanted to bring that, hype to the Bay Area. I don't know. The show just seems like it didn't go that way. Starting with, what was it? The HBCU game. I didn't even know that was in the All-Star thing. I thought my family and people I knew were going to that just to go see it. And it was in the Bay while everybody was there. I didn't even know it was part of All-Star Weekend. That's one thing. They should promote that a lot more. And then the celebrity game. The celebrities, who are these people that are in the celebrity game? I mean, I know we know Drewski, I know we know Kai Cenat, I know we know, I think it was what, Barry Bonds and Jerry Rice. Of course, we know them as coaches, and their assistant coaches, was it Two Chainz, and the other team was what, Cabby, whatever it is, the African dude that don't talk, that just does the funny shit. Yeah, I don't know what was going on with that. Again, it's like we used to get celebrities in the All-Star game that can actually hoop. Like, who are these guys? Like, the guy that won MVP is a model. I don't know who the fuck he was, but I guess that cussing thing is out the window, huh, guys? Anyways, but yeah, I don't know. And again, a lot of the times the celebrities that were in the game could actually hoop. What happened to Miles Garrett? Miles Garrett was dunking on people last year. Puka Nacua. What happened to those guys? Terrell Owens is the only football player that actually looks like he could play basketball, and he looked like he was missing all his layups and act like he looked like he didn't work out, and his age is finally catching up to him. Um, who else even played, bro? I'm trying to remember who else was in the celebrity game. That's how bad it got. The triple jumper had one of the most ugly dunks I've ever seen. I don't know. He jumped high though. I don't even know. I don't even remember who played in the game. That's how unmemorable it was. I remember when Kevin Hart was playing in the game. We had big celebrities actually playing and hooping, like secretaries of the state and shit like that when Obama was in office. Like, what the fuck is going on now? So the whole Friday night just kind of seems like it didn't exist. And then when you get to Saturday, the skills competition, they try to put like players with more known players in the skills competition stuff. But again, we saw people not taking it serious. We saw Chris Paul cheating, Wembanyama cheating to just try to get the best time. They were trying to compete, but they were cheating, and the product looks so stupid sitting there watching them cheat to win. You know what I mean? And then of course you have the other people in the competition that were just jogging through it, too cool for school, just putting up little times, just trying to look cool and not really compete. So I don't know what it is. I mean, they make all the money in the world. It's kind of hard to incentivize these players to compete hard, play hard against each other. I don't know. I don't know. I guess the money doesn't matter. The money only really matters when it came down to the Rising Star challenges, when it was a bunch of, mixtures of Rising Stars and G League players playing against each other. They were actually playing hard because the winner of that tournament got to play in the actual All-Star game on Sunday against All-Stars. So we saw a little competition there, but again, people didn't really know those players, so it wasn't really a national spectacle kind of thing. It was more so one of the things where if you know who they were, if you know, if you're an inside NBA kind of guy or girl, you knew what was going on. I think they should have mixed some WNBA players into the skills competition. I think they should have mixed some WN players into the Rising Stars challenges and even into the All-Star games. Like, come on, do something different, because obviously even when we got to Sunday, they changed the format, made it a little tournament thing, first to 24 points. It was ridiculous. Again, I understand Draymond being on the panel. People can't really get the scoring record like Jason Tatum and have the 3-point record like Steph Curry and shit like that in the All-Star game. None of those records will ever be broken in this format because it's a shorter game. Players are scoring at least, basically like 7 points, the max, 12 points. Steph Curry won MVP this year, scoring 12 points in a game in the championship game. So Yeah, it just kind of eliminates what they were trying to do originally, which was, after the East in the West was kind of lopsided after the West got so heavy, as far as the good players are on the West and the East players are more so on the weaker side. And when they played against each other, the West dominated so much they tried to change the format to the drafting situation. And then once people started getting drafted and doing that weird shit, nobody wanted to play. Nobody's playing defense against each other. But at least when they're doing that, we have individual players that took it serious after a while. They're doing the quarters for charity and stuff. We saw people actually out there shooting and trying to score. Jason Tatum taking a little serious. We something for the fans to enjoy. And records actually being set. When they last year they gave the first inaugural, was it I don't know if it was Dr. J or LeBron James. That was an in season or some weird shit like that. But anyways, they gave a trophy, Kobe Bryant scoring trophy or something like that to the player with the most points. They started doing that, but in this new format, they can't do that. But I mean, again, Draymond shouldn't have been the one that point all this stuff out. People that are involved with the broadcast shouldn't really be talking down on the broadcast and bringing the product down. Though it was kind of bad, I do feel like the people that were on a part of the broadcast should have did a better job pumping up the show rather than talking shit about it and putting it down. Do you know what I mean? Because that not only did it look bad, it almost made us want to change the channel the way Draymond was talking about it. But yeah. Shout out to the Bay though, man. Halftime at the All-Star game, we had DJ Cassidy bring out Too Short, E40, Sweetie, In Vogue. But I do also I respect and love the legends, but they did have the Russell playing or perform at I think they're the Rising Stars before they started. So there is some of the younger representation. They always have Pilo performing here and there at Warriors games. I don't know if it's televised every time they're playing, but you know what I'm saying? I do feel like there's a lot of other artists out here in the Bay Area, maybe not as big or as memorable as some of the people that performed All-Star Weekend. But you know, I feel like every time we bring the Bay out to one of these events, we bring the same people, and there's a lot of musical talent out here in the Bay, and I feel like there's a lot of I wouldn't say like a lot of people that the OGs aren't pushing forward, but I feel like the OGs that they do show love to in the music game, if they were pushing some of these artists up. I mean, LaRussell is doing it kind of on his own. I don't want to say E40 and Too Short and everybody that's doing their thing down here was an influence for him to get noticed. But at the same time, I don't really see artists Too Short or E40 are putting out to be the next person in the Bay. I kind of feel like everybody else is kind of doing their own thing to try to come up. I'm not saying that we don't help each other get up, and get put forward and put on the map just like a lot of LA artists do. The Kendrick did recently at the Pop Out show. But I feel like a Bay Area version of that to get a lot of Bay Area artists and Bay Area adjacent people to get a lot of notoriety and put Northern California back on the map as well, just like LA is on the map for what Kendrick is doing. That would be amazing. But we got to see a little bit of it during the halftime show of the All-Star game, but I kind of feel like we should have been, celebrated a little better. But Chase Center, Oracle got to be televised again, the hype at the Oracle during the dunk contest and the three-point contest. I think they were at the Oracle, right? If I'm not mistaken. They were cool. Three-point contest was kind of weak because the shooters are just not as good anymore. We need Steph Curry back. We need some of the real shooters back. We had some guys, Cade Cunningham in the shooting contest, three-point shooting contest. Why? Jalen Brunson, three-point shooting contest. Why? Where's Michael Porter Jr.? Where's the three-point shooters? Stop putting just anybody that'll say yes. Ask three-point shooters or go back to the Sabrina and Steph thing versus Caitlin and Clay or whoever you want to get. I don't know why that got nixed because that was one of the most exciting things from last year as well. We're hearing Caitlin Clark decline to do it to match up with Klay Thompson to go against Steph and Sabrina. But come on now. It shouldn't be nixed just because Caitlin said no. You know what I mean? So get back to that because that was one of the more exciting things about it. A lot of the stoppages, everybody was complaining about Mr. Beast thing. It was cool the dude won the money, but I think that was definitely unnecessary. Mr. Beast seemed like he didn't practice at all to come out there and do what he did. It was just really it looked really improv and it was really annoying took a lot of time away from what we were actually there to see, especially since it was a tournament and more of those teams were playing each other back to back to back. I understand they try to put breaks in between by chopping it up by talking, but it got annoying, and the players were getting upset and annoyed. And yeah, they wanted to get out of there, because the players don't want to play already, anyways. So they definitely just want to get in there, do what they're supposed to do, and get out. They don't want to sit there while Kevin Hart makes hella jokes about what they should do better on the court, or yeah, it didn't go over well. And when the cameras were on the players' faces, it showed. It was bad. It was bad. So I don't know. Again, I love that it was in the Bay. Uh, McClung won the dunk contest 3 years in a row. The whole field, I don't know what the hell they were doing. Stefan Castle was the only person that put up any kind of show, and his dunks were so nonchalant, and nobody really expected that from him. That going up against Mac McClung, was it Matt? Anyways, whatever. Going up against him was kind of shady, because it didn't really let Stefan Castle showcase his bounce and the style of his dunks and how good his dunks really were. Because McClung was doing crazy shit like actually jumping over cars, dunking balls twice, touching the rim with the ball, then touching the ball, jumping over mascots, backwards. I don't know. He was doing some shit. Some dunks that he would have won anyways. But shout out to Stefan Castle for putting on a show and actually made it watchable, having somebody actually make dunks against McClung to make it, a little interesting. But after seeing that, John Morant sent out a message to Aaron Gordon, Zach LaVine, seeing if they wanted to get in the dunk contest and bring the real dunking back, because the dunk contest and the 3-point shooting contest and the Rising Star shit and the actual All-Star game, it's all been mid. All been mid. Team Shaq did end up winning the championship. I think it was against, who was it against? I think it was against, I don't know if it was against Team Chuck or not. It might have been against Team Chuck. But yeah, I don't know. It wasn't worth watching, and it didn't really make any difference, man. I don't even know if there was prize money. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there was, but it wasn't significant enough, and it wasn't as, touching as them scoring and getting points for charity. So yeah, man. It is what it is. But yeah, before we move out of basketball, I want to congratulate this class of finalists for the Hall of Fame 2025. Of course, my guy Melo, Carmelo Anthony, if you don't know, Maya Moore, Sue Bird, and Dwight Howard, and the Redeem team. I don't understand how that works for an Olympic team making the Hall of Fame, because I know that all the players that are on that team aren't making the Hall of Fame. But maybe, I don't know. I don't know how that works. But shout out Melo. You already know how I feel. I had to wear my Nuggets jersey, my Melo jersey to represent, and because the NBA is back today and the Nuggets are playing right now, and we're winning by 8 points. Oh, 5 points, man. We're playing the Hornets, bro, for back to the Lakers. If we lose, that's crazy ridiculous. But shout out Melo. As the induction comes sooner, I will talk more and more about my infatuation pause with Melo and how Melo led me to become the Nuggets fan I am today. You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite NBA player. Of all my favorite players have been Nuggets at one point in time. Of course, it's Melo, Allen Iverson, Jokic, and Jamal Murray. Some recent, some past. A lot of people look at Allen Iverson as a 76er, but no, I look at him as a Nugget. You feel me? So that's what I'm talking about, and that's what I'm sticking with. And you guys already know what's up with me. Anyways, haters say something. But anyways, shout out them. Let's move on a little bit. That's all I got for sports. Let's move into pop culture a little bit. Drake and Party Next Door. I should have said Party Next Door and Drake's album. Some songs. Wait, what is it? Some super sexy songs. Some sexy songs for you. So it's SSS for you. Some sexy songs for you. Drake and Party Next Door dropping that album for Valentine's Day. Highly anticipated album, especially with the Super Bowl passing and all the GNX stuff happening. We wanted to see if Drake was going to go back to his vibing, singing, or was he going to take subtle shots at Kendrick Lamar and respond in this album? I don't know if that's what everybody was looking for necessarily. Me personally, I'm a Party Next Door fan, one of my favorite R&B artists right now. And of my time, I can't really speak to the older stuff, because I putting him up against older artists that from back in the day, I gotta think about it. But Party Next Door and Drake, usually when they get together, I talked last week when the album was going to drop, the songs they put out are usually flames, you know what I'm saying? This album though, I'm not even gonna hold you. I'm gonna get right to the review, man. I didn't like it that much. You know what I mean? And it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, man. Every album is not for me. I'm not gonna sit here and trash it and say it's the worst thing I've ever heard. But it wasn't for me. My Party Next Door that I like to hear, it wasn't apparent on this album, man. This seems more like a Drake album with some features from Party Next Door. Party Next Door had one solo song on this album. Drake had four or five. Um, if that, a lot of the songs again with Party Next Door on it were more so Drake than Party Next Door. Drake would start the song, Party Next Door would have a verse, and then Drake would finish off the song. You know what I'm saying? If you're a Party Next Door fan, you kind of have to let Party Next Door songs build up and his verses build up to an ultimate climax to give you a total construction of a masterpiece. You know what I'm saying? But once he gets started in his first verse and goes to the chorus, then Drake comes in, then finishes it out and raps it, it kind of gives, two different songs, two different ideas, and it wasn't really cohesive to me. Um, a lot of the songs I get where Drake was trying to fit in with Party Next Door song style, but it didn't really fit. That's not my favorite type of Drake style, especially when it comes to his singing stuff. I don't want him to try to sound like Party Next Door. I want him to kind of do his own thing with Party Next Door feature on that song if you're going to do that. Maybe some songs with Party Next Door, maybe he's singing and then Drake comes in and raps to finish it off would be kind of cool. But a lot of the stuff on this again wasn't for me. And again, Party Next Door did come out after some critiques came out of the album that it wasn't for everybody. This was some music to have sex to. And if that's what his intentions were, I mean, I know this was more so for the ladies anyways. I think it'll do its thing. But me personally, I couldn't really find too many songs on the album that I like. It was 21 songs, I believe. And the ones that I feel like definitely have replayability for me personally are three of the songs. I like Deeper, which is that Party Next Door solo song. I like the Brian Steele song, the solo Drake song. The Give Me a Hug was really interesting. Me personally, that song is kind of confusing because it gives like God's Plan vibes with the beat and the beat switch, but he's actually dissing at the same time. But he's not dissing Kendrick Lamar. He takes his time out of his day to diss Joe Budden. And then goes on in the lyrics to say he's not trying to beef, he's trying to throw it aside and party with the bitches. Yet you're throwing shots at another person. I get it if you're not throwing shots at all, just saying you're trying to not beef and party with the bitches. Don't throw shots at somebody else because then it looks like, okay, you're throwing shots at somebody else, but you're going to ignore everything that Kendrick Lamar just did to you and just embarrassed you at the Super Bowl. So that's kind of interesting, an interesting tactic, excuse me. Again, it was those three, Give Me a Hug, Brian Steele, and Deeper for me. I know everybody is loving that Nokia song. It's catchy, I'm not gonna lie, but I couldn't sit down and just listen to it over and over and over like I think it's gonna have to happen this spring or whenever, shit starts to go down. It's who's calling my phone, baby girl? It's catchy in a 80s kind of way, you know what I mean? And everybody's rocking with it. I think TikTok's going to do its thing to try to blow it up, but it's not a cohesive piece of work for me. I know they're going to try to just brush it off as a Party Next Door album and say Drake has something coming out that's going to be 6 times as good as this, but just the way that it was promoted and just what I expected from the album wasn't necessarily there. Again, I will throw it on and listen to some songs. It just some of the lyrics and some of the songs just I'm like the song will start really good, and then we'll have a random part of the song spin on the dick. Come on, spin on the dick. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. We were doing so well. We was vibing. Then we just got really aggressive. You know what I mean? We don't got to do that. Let's vibe. That's what you do, party. Let's vibe. I know you do some silly stuff sometimes, and it's vibey. I get it. But you're on an album with Drake right now. Let's get some vibes out here. Let's not get experimental. Let's not try to do some braggadocious shit like, oh, anything I'll put out, everybody will like. No, because this is a time where everybody's going to be hypercritical of the projects you put out. And I think it's time for you to put out good work rather than put out shit that you can just say, oh, I'll put out work and just say, oh, it's somebody else's album or just throwaways, just to get people talking about you in a different light. because some of the songs, the Spanish song and the British song and then the damn near pop song, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I get it. I don't think it's time to be experimental. Let's be Party Next Door and Drake, and let's just knock out songs that you guys usually do that are successful. This is not experimental time. But yeah, I'm not gonna hate on the album. I'm still listening. I downloaded. I definitely support because of both the artists. I do enjoy 100%. But I don't know. I don't know. I just want music fans to be realistic sometimes when they have these reviews. I know we are fighting right now, not me personally, but the music industry. It's either Kendrick or Drake. Fans, there's no middle. You know what I'm saying? But let's just be realistic about stuff. Let's not push bad music. I don't want bad music to be encouraged. Again, it's not a bad album. But you know what I'm saying? The zeitgeist, excuse me, of music, they're gonna push the shit that people think is popular. If the songs aren't good, let's make sure they know we don't think it's good. Let's not push bad stuff. Let's make sure the artist knows we expect more, we want better. So they're not, they could be offended for a little bit of time, but then ultimately I think it turns into a better product for everybody. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But go check it out. It's anywhere you can find anywhere you download music now. DSPs, iTunes, if you actually still buy the albums, Apple Music, Spotify, all that shit. So check it out. Judge for yourself, but that was just my take from it. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to make sure you guys know what I liked and what I didn't like, and I wanted to be real about it, Fucks with me. Next, we're moving on. We're going right in the cinema corner. Let's get into some quick reviews in Paradise. If you're not watching Paradise, watch it. I told you guys last week it was pretty good. Shit, in the newest episode, we're getting to the shit, man. I enjoy what's going on. I kind of knew from the beginning the eccentric billionaire lady, it was gonna be some trouble. Um, we all know when it comes down to money, if you have a gazillion dollars, you're gonna be over any governmental power or anybody that thinks they have power over everybody just because your money can go a long way and can change everything. Your money and everybody respects money. So you should have known that, it is going the way it's going right now. I do kind of like sometimes when they give us a glimpse into what the future may be if the people of the world don't change their ways. Especially in this situation, how they're hiding under a mountain and they have these little wristbands that control everything in their lives. And you know what I'm saying? We kind of have that kind of shit with cell phones and Apple Watches as well. You know what I'm saying? Once it gets kind of like somebody threatens a what is it, a environmental catastrophe and has you under mountains, there's no use for cash anymore. The gazillionaire can put all the money on your little watch and make cash irrelevant, and only cash matters is hers because everybody thinks there's a catastrophe up there and the world is over. What does money matter? And she's still sitting on gazillions of dollars and keeping everybody hostage, thinking the world is over. It's crazy to think about, bro. It is really crazy to think about. It hits way too close to home sometimes. It's on Hulu right now. I think the episodes come out every Thursday night at 9 o'clock. Being there Friday if you're not a late person, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you're on the East Coast. But it's cool. Sterling K. Brown, check it out. Black History Month, you know what I'm saying? I'd be remiss if I didn't shout him out, let you guys know a brother is holding down as the lead in the show. You know what I'm saying? Check it out. Be a judge for yourself. I'm trying to get V-Rons on it. But man, it is very, very crazy. Paradise, because it's not paradise, man. It is not what it looks like on the surface. And man, I don't want to give too much away, but we're gonna be back next week. I'm giving y'all one more week to get into it because I have other shows to review right now. But let me know what y'all think, man. I really want to talk about this with y'all before we get to the end of the season. We only had episode, I think, 5 or 6 right now. It's gonna be 8 or 9 episodes max. So next week I'm talking more about it. So y'all better get on your shit. Spider-Man, freshman, no, it's called Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Yeah, finale just came out, and I can actually say I really do like this Spider-Man, man. It has a lot of plot holes in it. A lot of weird shit going on, especially with the changing the races of characters, changing the origin stories of characters. It's a little weird at first, but you know what I'm saying? Spider-Man, we get a lot of Spider-Man, and this kind of new version of it is kind of a breath of fresh air. A lot of the stories have been run down, and we've seen a lot of different, variations of Spider-Man. Same story, but different person playing Spider-Man. The cartoons from the 90s and stuff have been cool. I think this may be the first cartoon since then that hasn't been for like children, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember any other Spider-Man cartoons that have animated series that have come out, but this one has been really good from beginning to end. Again, they dropped first 3 episodes, and they dropped two, and then they dropped maybe another two, and then they dropped three. A total of 10 episodes, if I'm not mistaken, and it takes us through everything, man. The different origin story from Peter Parker again. Doctor Strange is fighting some cosmic spider monster, and the spider comes out of that universe and bites Peter Parker. In this one, a lot of people find out that he's Peter Parker. I don't know how he's going to change that in the upcoming seasons because it's kind of crazy that everybody kind of knows already. And when he just became Spider-Man, everybody already knows. Norman Osborn isn't a bad guy yet, but you can tell he's going to become a bad guy. Just the way that Daredevil was on him, just how he's competing with Dr. Octavius, and just the sinister shit that he's doing. The horrible kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? Intentions of him. You know, he's only working for himself. You can tell now when he let Spider-Man get stabbed up by Scorpion. I do like the other storyline with Lonnie and him going from star quarterback to becoming Tombstone, who is a character in Spider-Man who's just kind of like a crime boss. I like how he made him friends with Peter Parker first in high school before he goes out and becomes, Tombstone. I like when he got in the van, it was some Oscorp stuff that, some chemicals that he inhaled to make him he's going to become an albino pretty much and have super strength and become a Spider-Man villain. So next season, he's probably going to be a prominent villain in the series. We saw Dr. Octavius get arrested and him start planning to create his arms. We saw a lot of the Sinister Six start becoming created. We saw Scorpion and how he was created, how his suit fused to him fighting Spider-Man. Yeah, we saw a lot of stuff. We saw a lot. Hey, chill, sir. I didn't ask you for that. Um, but yeah, it was cool, man. Again, Harry Osborn and Norman Osborn being black, I know a lot of people were mad about that. I forgot the what's the what's the reptiles professor name, whatever. She was black as well. It was a lot of minorities in the show that were originally white characters, and a lot of people were taken aback by that. A lot of people didn't like the animation style either, so they didn't really give it a chance. I was confused about when, you know, Doctor Strange used the Eye of Agamotto to rewind time and the spider came down again and bit Peter Parker for a second time. I don't know what that actually meant. I don't know if that was going to bring another Spider-Man in. I don't know if that was meant to lead to Miles Morales or Gwen Stacy. I know Norman Osborn was creating another spider based off of Spider-Man's blood. So I don't know if that spider is going to get out and create Miles Morales. I don't know. I'm confused to where it's going to go. At the end, when he was fighting the symbiote kind of spider monster, and he saw the little symbiote on the other side before he was able to close the portal with Doctor Strange, a little piece did get in. So is that going to become Venom? Is there going to be you know, is there going to be another symbiote situation with Peter Parker? Are we going to see Brock? Or is he, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? You know what I'm saying? So it ended kind of cool. I know the next season's not going to come out for hella long, but let me know how you guys like the new Spider-Man, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man on Disney Plus now. Again, they dropped it a cool way to where they ain't going to drag it out hella long. They wanted you to see it quick. Maybe they're going to have another season coming back pretty soon. They wanted to give you a taste of it, see how you liked it just so when they do put out another season, they know they're going to get a good review on it, and they have you guys waiting and expecting more. But let me know how you guys like the new Spider-Man show. I liked it a lot. I will give that an 8. I liked it a lot. When it comes down to what was I grading? Oh, the Drake album. I didn't give that a grade. That I'm gonna give that a 7.5. I would give that a 6.5. I have to give it a 6.5 because I'm not gonna even give it a 7.5. That's still a little high. I'm gonna give it a 6.5. I'm sorry, y'all. Just really before I get into the real review of the episode, Cobra Kai, the second half of the last season is now on Netflix, man. I didn't like it, bro. I'm not a Cobra Kai guy. I'm not a Karate Kid guy. I've realized that. I tried to watch the show so many times. It's just not for me. The karate is cheesy. The drama is so CW. I'm not interested in it. I didn't really watch the movies back in the day, a little bit before my time. The Jaden Smith one was the most recent one to when I was born. Maybe not. Maybe the other ones were a little bit, yeah, maybe I'm tripping, but the most recent one I watched was The Karate Kid with Jaden Smith. I didn't really watch the older ones back in the day, so I wasn't really a Mr. Miyagi or a LaRusso guy. So watching this, I kind of just tried to kind of brush up on it. I didn't really see all the movies, you know what I mean? So I wasn't super invested. So as an outsider trying to be invested in this remade CW baby drama, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Even in the Saikai Taikai, the finals in this new season, I couldn't do it. You know, I watched all this shit up to this, second half of the sixth season. I dragged myself through it. I let myself do it, but not no more, man. I am going to finally put my foot down and say I did not enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it. If you want to watch it, it's out right now. I don't want to spoil it for everybody else and tell you exactly what happens, but you can kind of already tell what happens, especially since they have a new movie coming out with Jackie Chan. I think Jaden might be in it with a new kid. So they're going to try to continue it that way in a movie form, but hopefully the show is over. The kids are grown and doing their own shit now in the industry. So I'm hoping that they just move on and do something different because I didn't like it at all. But moving on into what we're really here to review, man. I saw Captain America: Brave New World, and I'm ready to tell y'all how I feel. I took my girl with me. She hasn't seen nothing that has to do with Captain America, really any Marvel movies. And I was like, hey, we're gonna go to this expensive ass movie theater, eat this good ass food, and drink these drinks. We're gonna watch the movie that I want to watch. I know it's kind of selfish on Valentine's Day, but we went to the mall after, okay? Went to the mall after, but a lot of people have been shitting on this movie. I'm just gonna get right to it. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, I'm going to talk about it right now. A lot of people have been shitting on this movie. Just because, yeah, it wasn't really a complete piece of work. It was choppy, man. We've heard rumors leading up to this movie that there was a lot of reshoots and a lot of stuff being done to the movie, reshoots, stuff being chopped out, movie almost being canceled completely when they were doing the reshoots and the strikes were happening. So we heard a lot of stuff back then about it being slow. Then we heard that we were doing reshoots due to it getting bad viewer reviews on the pre-screenings. So people were coming back and just shitting on it, just saying, okay, maybe we need to change some shit to make it better for the national public. But I don't know if they did that. Leading up as well, we saw pretty much all the action in the movie in the previews, which was a bad take, a bad thing for Marvel to do. Usually, Marvel, when it's leading up to movies, especially their big movies, they'll tease previews and just lie about what's actually going to be in the movie. Sorry, I keep looking over there, but the Nuggets are only up 3 against the fucking Charlotte Hornets in the fourth quarter. Bro, if we win this game, we'll be in second place, passing the Grizzlies, but we don't want to win, bro. We should be up 20 right now. What the fuck is going on? They're on a back-to-back. Anyways, back to the review. Yeah. So, with all the reshoots and all the bad rumors and all the bad pre-screaming rumors about it, it kind of are and giving away all the action in the previews. It kind of already left us going into the movie kind of expecting less about it, not ready to give it its full due. I think we're kind of jaded by the pre-reviews and everything that we've seen months and months before. We saw how the Red Hulk was going to look. People at Comic-Con was looking at got to see in pre-screenings and previews and shit how the Red Hulk looked, talking about how he looked hella terrible during the with the CGI. He looks pink, how shitty everything was. Um, I don't know. I didn't let it sway me. I like Anthony Mackie a lot. I like the concept of the Red Hulk coming into the MCU and being, transitioning this movie into the Thunderbolts. I like Harrison Ford, of course. I wasn't the biggest fan of Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I wasn't mad at the premise. Me being a black man, I am very excited about a black Captain America. I thought that throughout the movie, they didn't, or throughout the series, the MCU in general, they never really gave Falcon a just due. They gave him cool guns, made his wings do certain things, gave him sentient red wing or yeah, it's called Red Wing. They did some cool stuff with him, but I just thought once Steve Rogers passed the mantle to him for Captain America, they would actually have him do cooler shit, man. Of course, he didn't take the serum, so it's kind of hard to make him realistically go against supervillains like Captain America was. He ain't gonna stop no alien threats. He ain't gonna fight Thanos. And him even fighting Red Hulk in this movie was kind of unrealistic. So I don't know. Just seeing him fight and struggle with regular people just even gave more cause to pause for me to be like, man, okay, he's not gonna be able to last as Captain America without taking some kind of serum, without going to Wakanda and taking the herb that they got over there to help give Black Panther get his powers because man, he broke his ribs fighting a regular ass person. John Carlos Esposito's person stabbed him up. His character stabbed him up and almost killed him. I don't know how he's taking bullets and taking stabs to the chest and not dying. I guess he's just a badass in that aspect, but you got to give him something if we're gonna have him be Captain America, because Captain America in his first two movies was doing some shit, man. The way that he dropped in the second movie, just dropped into the water out of the airplane without a parachute. You know what I'm saying? The way he was fighting Thor and getting down with Captain America in Civil War and Avengers. I don't see Anthony Mackie's character doing that. And I personally like him a lot. So I want him to be able to, but I don't know if he's going to be able to do that without giving him a serum, man. I don't understand why he doesn't want to take it. I don't really know what the side effects are. I mean, I'm not sure last time I did say, or did I say it last time that he possibly lived to be 100 something years old. He doesn't want to live to be that old, and his family and the people he loved die. But the only reason that Bucky and Captain America were that old were they're both frozen for a long time. Um, Isaiah Bradley in this movie, I don't think he is 100 and something years old. I think he may just be in his 70s, 80s, or maybe even his 90s, but just be hella strong from being a super soldier in the past and him getting the serum. So he still does look hella old. I don't, the actor that plays him, he's in good shape for an older man, you know what I'm saying? So he has a role, you know what I'm saying, playing older superheroes for a while if he keeps that stature. But I just kind of feel like the storyline was kind of recycled. We saw the whole Isaiah Bradley situation in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Again, maybe they didn't expect everybody to see Falcon and Winter Soldier, so rehashing that storyline in this and giving Isaiah Bradley and making that a big story plot in this one maybe was, it had to be done for people to know who Isaiah Bradley was, and just for the plot point of him being the first Captain America, being experimented on and being sent away and jailed for a long time and put in a box with no recognition just because he was black. They wanted to bring that story back to the forefront because it is moving, and it is crazy as hell for that to be a situation, and for the government to do Captain America like that, especially the first Captain America. After the next Captain America, you get this white guy becomes buff, get the serum, and you just treat him like God. Though he was resistant to the government and didn't really believe in a lot of shit that the government believed in, which was the basis of a lot of the Captain America movies, Civil War, Winter Soldier, and all that shit. Um, but it's just a fucked up plot point, and I'm happy that Isaiah was in this, but I didn't think they needed to spend so much time rehashing that story. Again, I heard in a lot of reviews that Anthony Mackie at this point should be secure in himself being Captain America. Again, we already during that whole series of Captain America and Winter Soldier, we spent a lot of time with him trying to self actualize and him realize that he is worthy to be Captain America. The color of your skin doesn't make you a Captain America. The size of your heart does, type shit. You know what I'm saying? But if you're gonna be Captain America and do the shit that Steve Rogers was doing, saving the world, you have to be past the stages of am I accepted by America? You need to get over that and just be Mr. Badass. You know what I'm saying? And with him not having the super serum, he wasn't that threatening. You know what I'm saying? You had people still stopping him from getting into offices and stopping him from talking to the president. Ain't nobody jumping in front of Steve Rogers and stopping him from doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. And just a lot of the shit, I don't know. I heard that a lot of the Giancarlo Esposito stuff, he wasn't even on set. So a lot of the fights and stuff, it was mostly Giancarlo Esposito talking to himself or just with Anthony Mackie on a green screen. The whole fight scene with him, when he got in the car crash situation and Giancarlo Esposito shot up his car just for him to give up the location of the leader. It just was all for nothing, man. Again, they try to copy and paste Winter Soldier from the drop in, from Anthony Mackie's first drop in Mexico and taking out those bad guys. They try to copy the same scene from, Captain America jumping out the airplane, landing in the water, and getting up on the boat and taking out all the terrorists that way. But it was a really bad version of that. Falcon, I don't know. He was there for comic relief. I don't know if his character actually took a step forward from the last show we watched either. Again, in the last version of Falcon and Winter Soldier, we saw him be given the flight suit. And Captain America kind of just become Captain America without the flight suit. But then eventually Captain America gets the new flight suit and Captain America suit from Wakanda, which combines both, which we see in this movie, which he fights in. The missile stuff and the celestial stuff, we needed to address the celestial stuff for the animated team to bring X-Men in, blah, blah, blah. But it was kind of rushed, and I feel like it wasn't the main plot of the story. It just seems like the main plot of the story was to introduce the Red Hulk for Thunderbolts, General Thunderbolt, President Thunderbolt Ross. Um, him just kind of changing from a warlord and a general pretty much to being a president that understands that he needs to be a better person to better have a relationship with her. I don't know. I don't know what the whole situation was. I just feel like it was a character development movie for the Red Hulk to introduce for Thunderbolts, and we kind of forgot about Captain America. And a lot of the stuff we did for Captain America, we just recycled from either the show or copied and pasted from Captain America and Winter Soldier. Um, the leader's ultimate kind of like motivations, I don't know, just to embarrass the president and make him become the Red Hawk because he didn't let him out of jail after helping him not die was interesting. Him being able to get taken out by Winter Soldier and his plan be foiled by Winter Soldier so easily, with him supposed to be like one of the smartest men on Earth, was kind of crazy. And him not having a backup plan uh for Anthony Mackie not making his ultimate decision he thought he was gonna make. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he thought that Captain America would be killed by General Ross and the American people will see General Ross killing him and just shun him as a president. I don't know. Who becomes vice president? I don't even know who was vice president this whole time. We saw Bucky for a couple of seconds. Maybe he is running for something. He's in Congress, but I don't think he'll step up and be president because he's in Thunderbolts as well. They're both in Thunderbolts. So yeah, something's gonna happen to Bucky to where he's gonna have to be in Thunderbolts. What else happened? Some of the Celestial fights when he was surfing on the missiles and taking the missiles out, that was cool. The Hulk stuff, we got to see the Hulk actually be the Hulk again, him jumping across shit and just kind of Hulk out and just destroy shit and whoop ass, and him not be the smart Hulk and just have smart ass remarks and not really be the Hulk anymore. I like to see that, even though it should be the Green Hulk and not the Red Hulk that's doing that. But make the Green Hulk great again is what I should say, is what I'm saying, bro. Come on, we got the rights now. Let's ramp it up. You know, we took the time to make this movie and rehash everything from 2008 just to introduce the Red Hulk. Betty Ross wasn't even the movie, bro. It was a big ass plot point, and she wasn't even fucking in it. The Serpent Society was supposed to be in it. Giancarlo Esposito belonged to the Serpent Society. That was supposed to be a bigger plot point. They just eliminated the whole Serpent Society and left Giancarlo Esposito, who wasn't even on set. Oh, there's a lot to hate about this movie, but action wise, you know, it did what it was supposed to do as far as a spy espionage type thing. Give Anthony Mackie a shine. Did some cool stuff with the wings. Introduced Animanium and kind of set up the Red Hulk for the next movie. It kind of did all that, but as a movie to stand alone and carry the MCU into the next phase and be one of the movies, you know, that he was supposed to put the Avengers together. They kept mentioning that, you know what I'm saying? If he was to go and grab other characters and make an Avengers type squad and do some shit, which they're probably supposed to do, I don't know what the fuck this movie ended up being. It just didn't really have, the stakes didn't seem that high because ultimately the president just turned into the Red Hulk and Captain America just calmed him down, like talked them out of fighting. A 4 minute fight scene. They teased the Red Hulk for the whole movie and used him for a total of 9 minutes in the movie, bro. I don't know, man. Again, this could be a judge for yourself type of thing, but a lot of the reviews were negative. Me personally, I'm gonna give it a 6.5, another 6.5. Not good, but just under good, not bad. I put it over Madam Web, Love and Thunder, Eternals. I'll put it over any of those X-Men, Apocalypse, the New Mutants, all that bullshit. Overall, that. Um, but yeah, it wasn't super good, man. I'm disappointed, man, because I was really excited to see Anthony. Some of the fight scenes were dope, though, man. Having the wings detach and to shoot shit, having them be able to shoot back the kinetic energy after the Hulk was beating on the wings. You know what I'm saying? All that shit was kind of cool. Having him have the mask and fly around super speeds and how he was surfing on the fucking, all that shit was cool, but the plot wasn't good enough to be a standalone movie and people like it. Again, Anthony Mackie and a lot of the performances, the leader's performance, a lot Harrison Ford, he's getting old, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the acting performances were good. Some were just selling it in, and it looks like they were working with what they were given, but I feel like it could have been a lot better. But again, I'm giving it a 6.5. You guys go judge for yourself, go check it out. But boy, was I disappointed. I was expecting, I spent all my money in that movie, man. I was expecting to see some crazy shit. I stayed for the end credit scene. Spoiler alert, they tease Secret Wars, but come on, y'all. Y'all could have made that a mid-credit scene. Y'all did not have to have us wait in the movie theaters for hella long for that bullshit ass mid-credit scene. But again, we'll see what they do. Bring Jonathan Majors back, bring everybody back, and let's see if we can get back on track. But yeah, again, check it out. It's in theaters now. I advise you probably don't see it in super luxury because I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know if I guess maybe if you do it in luxury, it'll be worth going to the movies and seeing a bad movie because you'll see it in style. But I don't know. But anyways, that's the end of the podcast where I like to let you guys know where you can find your boy at. It's SAC_Lydell on the Instagram, Patrick_Lydell on the Snapchat. If you're looking for the podcast, look on YouTube. It's Best of Bias. On Instagram, it's Best of Bias as well. And on TikTok, it's Best of Bias. I'll be around on all those things, posting stuff, aka with all the videos, making it look good for us. Videos and promos. All the promos you see on Instagram in my actual posts. AKA has been blessing, man. Doing what he can, man, for the F too. He does this shit for free out of the kindness of his heart. So if you can, in the comments somewhere in those YouTube videos, thank AKA for doing this shit, man. Been rocking for almost, I think the podcast 6-year anniversary is going to be April 19th. So I'm going to try to have a special podcast. I don't know if I have a super special because 6 years ain't really that monumental, but just a kind of an anniversary kind of thing, just to mention it, just because, man, we getting out there, we getting this content out there for y'all weekly, and we're trying to, just get bigger and better as we progress in years going on in this podcast, because, it's all about elevation and getting bigger and better. Again, yeah, give us a like, subscribe, play, comment, all that shit on the YouTube, and hit me up on Instagram. If anybody wants to be on the podcast, we're going to have some guests, some new shit coming soon. Change the format up a little bit. Football is over. Basketball playoffs is going to start, and baseball is going to start soon. But, I'm trying to probably do a lot less sports now, get more pop culture and cinema corner in, some questions, some different guests, different kind of content. You know what I'm saying? Get back to anime kumite. Anime is really popping right now. Still going to be going to these festivals soon and these conventions. So a lot of shit to do, a lot of shit to talk about. So as sports kind of ease out. But it's the Best of Bias podcast. It's your boy No Long Talking. Hope you enjoy your weekend. Hope you had a great Valentine's Day, and I hope you enjoyed the pod. You know what I'm saying? Like, subscribe, and leave us a comment too. Apple Podcasts, you know what I'm saying? Because we do review movies. If we get up 200 comment 5-star and comments, we can become movie critics and add that to the repertoire, because we're not just podcasts, we're merch gang, we're Best of Bias media, we everything out here. But yeah, and if you have some ideas and actually want to get down with Best of Bias podcast, we Best of Bias media, we're always looking to expand the team, so hit me. You know where to find me at. It's the Best of Bias podcast. You already know what it is. It's Lydell Dinero, and where that theme song at. Episode 235 in the books, and we out of here. Where that theme song at? It's right here.
It's the best of Bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to Unitas. It's the best of Bias. Your Best of Bias. Yeah.